overall with this film, I was bored, and while there was things I did like, I think my end result is that I was just underwhelmed with this film. But I still got a review to do, so let's jump into that now, folks. And this is my review of the new film, The Strings. What's up, folks, and welcome back to the channel today for another review. And today we're going to be reviewing the film The Strings, which is coming to Shudder as a Shudder original November 23rd. Now, yes, there was things I liked about this film, but I think my overall impression of this film is that I was bored. I was a little bit underwhelmed, and there was reasons why. Ultimately, because our protagonist, I felt like in the sense of danger and the sense of suspicion, I felt like the reactions just wasn't natural. Not to say that it would have been the response that I would have wanted or I would have did and whatnot, but come on now, a few of these you're just you're definitely not acting like you may be in a sense of danger. And while there is a little bit of an explanation here, I just wasn't really buying into it. So overall, I'm just kind of disengaged from it. And I watched this because it's a Shudder film, figuring there's going to be some horror in it, and there is some horror elements to this, but as I say over and over and over, in order for horror films to work, you have to connect with the protagonist. You need to feel a sense of danger. And I really feel like the atmospheric horror was good. I felt like the score was good. I felt like the cinematography was good. But when it came down to just attaching and connecting to the protagonist, it just wasn't there. Now, talking about our protagonist here, Catherine, played by Teagan Johnston, she is a talented musician who recently broke up with her successful band. So she travels to her aunt's remote coastal cottage to work on new material. She's off the grid, and it makes sense. This is a very good way to really spark those creative juices. But while she's there, she meets a local photographer, Grace, who they end up sparking up a little romance here, and while doing so, everything is normal, except there seems to be some supernatural occurrences happening in this house that Catherine is by herself. So that's that. And here's the thing here. If you are anywhere by yourself and you hear a noise, you're going to be like, well, what was that? You may even go look. But if you hear it 4 or 5 times, and if you actually see some things, you're going to have to say, all right, I'm out of here. And she was just kind of like, well, maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm just making this up, maybe I'm tripping, maybe this isn't really happening. And sure, you get away with that one night, but over and over and over, it's just like, come on now. So that's where I was having a problem with, because from her to character, she is seeing things move, she is seeing things out of place, she's actually seeing prints, outlines of folks and whatnot, and all sorts of other crazy things that kind of happening, and she just doesn't respond to it. And then for the viewers, you're just like, I know you see that. And then she's like, yes, I see that. So you're like, so please get out of here. And she's kind of like, oh, maybe I'm not really seeing this. I'll just, chill. I'll just go back to sleep. And this is like, what? So on a positive note here, because she is a musician, excuse me, she's talented. I thought that the musical performances by Teagan was fantastic. She has a really beautiful voice, which whether the soundtrack or the score, everything with the music really came together really well and really showcased her talents. And again, because she went out here to kind of go off the grid and make music, I thought the aspect of creating music was done really well. Seeing her with all her keyboards and sound mixing devices and everything around her, and really putting together these songs, composing these songs, I thought was fantastic. That was probably some of the best parts of the film. If you're a true enthusiast of music, you're like, yo, this is how stars are made, but the fact that this was still sitting in a very surrounding of supernatural stuff happening, he's like, okay, cool, I understand that that's still part of the film. And anytime they went down that path of the film, it just didn't land for me. So if this film had just been 2 separate things, if it had just focused on the music, it would have been a fantastic film. But the fact that it was surrounded by the supernatural thing and horror and whatnot, I just wasn't feeling it. I was never connected with Catherine on that note. But I will say too, I really love that this film was very body positive. I love the display of queer relationships here. So like this film did a lot of good things, and again, I think that cinematography was good. The low light shots were fantastic. Some of my favorites. Some of my favorite style of a shooting is low light shots, and I thought they executed really well. But yeah, just overall as a complete film, even for being an hour and a half, which is a quick watch, I felt like it just was boring. It just really was underwhelming. It had things that it wanted to do well, and anytime you connected that the musical part of this, and then you start connecting it with the horror, and they started like intertwining, it just didn't work for me. But I will say this, as a viewer, you will be creeped out. Like some of the things that are happening, you absolutely will be like, oh shoot, like that. Oh, I didn't expect that coming, or you're just anticipating something jumping out at you. And while all that works for the viewers, again, to me, it's kind of still like, so Catherine, you okay? You've been in this place for a couple of days now, and chairs are moving, paintings are shaking, you're seeing things, you're hearing things while you're sleeping, you're waking up seeing figures, and like, yeah, some of this you may be able to brush off, but you can't constantly brush all of these off. Like at some point you have to start saying, oh, these are real. That's what I was having a problem with. But you can check it out. It's on Shudder, November 23rd. Let me know your thoughts. Honestly, let me know your honest thoughts about this one. Am I being too harsh, or like am I wrong here? But maybe I'll check it out again, depending on what you all say. But yeah, check it out. Jump in the comments and let me know, and I'll see you around for more reviews very soon.